I didn't have to do anything too terrible to get my copy. I saw it were posted all over the place. It was posted hither and yon. This was not what I expected from a Friday surprise. Do you guys remember when those things from her attorney went out on a Friday afternoon? Well, not even a Friday afternoon, a late Friday evening. The letters where they were ordering us to put everything together and save it for the courts. All the stuff, all the conversations we'd had. She wanted my correspondence between her, myself, and Steve McCrae, and myself and her, and whatever notes I had taken as far as writing a book. Hey, Peg. Hey, Kentucky Girl. Hey, Jan. Hey, Pink Nana. I didn't have to do nothing to get this. And I'm just going to come around and tell you, you guys shocked? Bossy, I am shocked. I'm kind of shocked. I mean, when the original thing came out, and yes, KJ supporters, I'm touching my hair because it's driving me a little crazy. Hey, Maria. Hey, Sue Elliott. I was shocked when the original suit was filed only because I didn't see Miranda or James Derrick's names linked to it. Hey, Franny. Because I couldn't imagine why 7M would sue and they would not sue, particularly Miranda. I think Miranda would probably have a pretty good case for saying that she's being stalked. Stalked. Hey, Christine, and my electric just did the Costa Rican quiver. So I don't know for sure what's going on, except to say they finally amended it tonight. And we're going to go over just a few of the things that I saw on one of the copies of this I saw that was posted. I've just been kind of like in shock. Dear KJ, if you're watching, if you're listening, if your subs are watching and listening, shut up. Shut the heck up right now. Just shut up. Shut up. Go talk about the Duggars or literally any other group. Stop talking about Shekinah Church. Stop talking about 7M. Stop talking about poor Miranda and James. Oh, I hate this thing. But this room is too dark without it. So I'm just going to put up with it. I think they're playing KJ like a fiddle. They have this all planned out for maximum effect. Storms going through today and tomorrow, Sue Elliott. Our rainy season just hit on Monday and it knocked out everything here. So we're dealing with that too. And it's a pain in the you know where. It is a pain that it's that bad, but it is. And it made it hard for me because here I am wanting to talk about this and I've been locked out because I had absolutely no way of covering this. This is why they filed it in court the morning after her being pocket served. Yes, she's trying to backpedal by saying that she wasn't talking about 7M. She was talking about the church. Doesn't she realize that people have snapshots and videos downloaded? Exactly. I guarantee her lawyer told her to shut up, but she is incapable of it. Oh, wow. So it dropped 40 degrees, Sue Elliott. That's not good. I am very unfamiliar with your part of the country. I've been just about everywhere in the U.S. I have not been to that part. KJ couldn't shut up if her life depended upon it. Her life does depend upon this because the more she talks, the more she makes herself sound crazy, the more they're going to be able to go after her. I opened Google today, and one of the suggested stories was about Emily D. Baker making bank. Yes, from Business Insider. She's just so triggered all the time. And for her to say that she was traumatized by Emily D. Baker reading the court documents, literally just reading the court documents and saying, this is what they mean, this is what may happen, this is what may not happen. She's saying she's triggered. Well, girl, get in line because you triggered me when you stole my story of how I left my church. When you started making those same claims, when you started stealing insider information I gave you about the Duggars and making huge stories all the time out of all of it, you traumatized me. You traumatized me when you stood me up after I had double meted so that I could be on your live stream. Discovery is going to take months and months. It's going to take forever, Christine. And she keeps saying, Discovery will bring it all out. Well, girl, it's going to bring it all out on your side. Look at how many people she has triggered. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. And Jan, she is saying that nobody obtained it from the church. Everybody got their copies off the Minnesota website. KJ, if you're watching, and I know you do watch some of these things, my copy came off Twitter. Yes, darling Twitter. Oh, so they're putting it up on Twitter, people are. I got to look and see where the one was I was looking at, where I was looking at reading the documents and laughing because I'm going to go over that page, that one page, because the page is so kind of nutty. Okay. Kimmy Joe posted it. And it is the same page that I posted a clip of that says getting sued is like a badge of honor at this point. It will cost her a fortune in legal fees. You are exactly right, Christine. The legal fees alone are going to bankrupt her. And I don't look forward to that happening because I don't want anything to happen that will dispossess that child of a stable home. And that's the part of this I don't like, is that I know that it's going to create tension and drama in the household, and the kid will suffer because of it. That's the tragic thing. And all she had to do was shut up the first time I asked her to, and just say, I received a request. I'm going to honor that request, even if I don't agree with it. No, this is a totally different one, Jan. This is not the same attorney. I don't think she had an attorney back then beyond some cousin of a friend of a friend of a friend that she used to deal with the whole incident with the Jilly Juice lady, Jillian Epperly. She used somebody that she was either related to, or, yeah, I don't know of an attorney that would touch her with a 10-foot pole. Well, apparently, Mr. Lionel Hutt's graham cracker will still. New files in the court site, Friday Night Delight. Yep, this makes up for that stupid stupid Friday night letter we all got where she was trying to take all of our personal conversations with each other and trying to take my book notes. Good luck with that. Oh, you did? Raking. Let me open up my email box. Oh, because looking through the pages that other people have been posting, I have just been laughing so hard at the whole damn thing. Okay, email box, why you got to be like this to me? My email is the worst. I'm just going to come up out and say it. It dumps so many things that are not spam and spam. Every time somebody see, here we go. Oh, here we go. Let's take a look. So, Reagan, are you part of the cult now? Because she's going to claim that everybody got this. Everybody got this from CULT members. Everybody's going to claim that. Reagan for the win again. Reagan, you were a doll. You get all this stuff the right way. Let me take a look at this real quick because I want to read the amended portion where there's all of the things they added. Not all the stuff that what's his face went through the other night. Oh, uncivil law. I was just watching Uncivil Law's live stream about this. And crocheting before this came out. And when it did, I just started busting out laughing because if you're being sued, you really should shut the hell up about it. Even if you have to scream into your pillow and write a personal, I am so pissed off about it on your computer in a secretive fashion, you do that. Okay, where are we? Okay, here we go. Okay, it looks like that they added from the 4th on, March the 4th. Jan, that's really funny. Just means it was filed in the court. She was digging for cemetery deeds, thinking that Tati's father was dead, or words to that effect. Hey, Irish. So she's really gone off the deep end. Tati Westbrook never said a word, and when it was over with, she didn't say much either about it. Tati just kind of let that. Tati acted with class and just let that be water under the bridge. Didn't say anything. Oh, and the KJ being angry with Emily D. Baker for reading the lawsuit was just the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. And for her claiming that she was traumatized by it was just crazy. Let me read a few of these. 4th of April, dancers are still living in community housing and they still share their lives both in work and personally. There is absolutely no separation for the talent from church and work. They live with their co-workers and church members. Okay. And that's wrong how? If it's true even? 4-4 again. Keto Cycle terminated their relationship with Miranda after learning about her involvement with 7M. Former members agreed that the only way to end this situation is to cut off the money and find a way for Mr. Robert Shin to be held criminally responsible. They assert that the money made is benefiting Robert and Shekinah. Okay. Thank you, Franny. Thank you so much. My yarn fun thanks you. Like I said, I was watching Uncivil and I was crocheting when all this went down. So I will be buying more yarn. I'm almost out. So I have to say this about, I've got to correct Uncivil, who I do like. Dear Mr. Uncivil Law, he mispronounced Shekinah. He said, I forgot what exactly said it. Shekinah or something like that. It is Shekinah. It is a word that is it's one of the names of God, was what we were taught. I'm getting ready to pull it up. I was taught that it was one of the aspects of God. Shekinah glory. The dwelling or settling, denoting the dwelling or settling of the divine presence of God. Shekinah glory. That's pretty much what they're saying. So that's what Shekinah means. It's not Shekinah. It's not Shekinah or whatever it was he said. It is Shekinah. Shekinah. Yeah. So she's making crazy claims. I'm sure she will say the military is a CULT. She's gone over the deep end. The classy thing is to ignore her. She's digging her own grave, and it's fun to watch her fall in. Amy, it is, sadly enough. But I'm kind of like on the fence because while I would like to see her held to some accountability, I don't want to see the child suffer. And I know that the stress levels in that house have to be so high that poor kid is suffering. So that's the thing I hold against the whole damn thing. She's throwing anyone and everyone under the bus she can, then gaslighting. I know that's the way she is. She claims she doesn't have anything to prove because it was only about the church. She used their names as hashtags in every single post. Seems relevant to preserve it. Yeah. I think so too. I think the church needs to sue as well. And I'm not fond of that church. I just am not. Like I said, I think they have some There's some other churches that they approve of that have some squishy CULT um, things going on. So I'm not a fan of Shekinah in any way, shape, or form, but I feel that they are being defamed. It's one thing to look at the theology of a church, to look at who they align themselves with and say, okay, this church and this church are definitely CULT churches. They fit the bite model exactly. And if they're enmeshed with the Shekinah, then that means that Shekinah has some problematic connections and they may have some problematic theology. That's a big difference between saying the crap that she's saying. A chronically B Queen, he was talking about a fundraiser on civil law was, and I just kept looking at him and I kept thinking about the best fundraiser in the world for him would be to do a drag. I would love to see him raise money by doing drag because I kept seeing his eyes and the dramatic way his eyebrows go. And I was just like, boy, I just want to put eyeshadow on you and put on your eyelashes and just make you up. I just want to see that. Anyway, that's my idea for his fundraiser. It's going to be so stressful for V. She'll have the 7M and the Chrisley lawsuit at once. She's taking her old family down by doing this with no regard to her child. So hopefully a family member will step in and take care of him, and the other two can live on the street. Hey, Sunny Side Up. A lot of people don't have knowledge of that like you do on this associations of theology. Well, Irish, that's true, and sadly, it's hard earned. Oh, bossy! What is this, a mind meld? I keep looking at him and saying, think to myself, I would just want to put makeup on this man. He's just got those eyes. It would be perfect. I don't think anything will come of the chrysalis suit. I don't know if it will or not. Yes, Amanda, that's exactly what Shekinah means. Yeah, what she does is just so heinous the way she does it. It would be one thing to investigate and then say, hey, this happened, this happened, this happened. Oh, I was thinking more like dressing him like Divine. He would look great in drag. He's got the perfect face for it, but we'd have to shave him first. I don't think the Chrissy lawsuit will go anywhere. She'll still have to pay to defend it. And that's worth something right there. That's it. He's hitting her pocketbook. So I'm going to go back and read a little bit more of this because this document is just making me laugh. Report that Robert Shinn's Shekinah Church was illegally operating as a church without a proper zoning permit. Really? Is that the best you got, Katie? Getting sued is like a badge of honor at this point. Okay. I have never contacted Miranda or James. Well, that is awful shitty that she didn't, because she could have got, if she was actually a journalist, she would have contacted them and asked for their side of the story. The Rolling Stone has seen better days as far as the accuracy of the reporting too. They're still in court right now, and I think they're going to have to cough up a huge settlement over the UVA rape allegations that they made. So we're not talking about the most ethical people on the planet. And used to be Rolling Stone had top-notch investigative reporters. I remember when they did a lengthy piece on Ted Bundy. And what's funny is they've even noted which ones of these have been removed, especially the one about the proper zoning permit. Alleges that one of 7M's clients is stealing money for a fundraiser he runs to help Ukraine. That's pretty low. You just can't run around and say that stuff. I mean, the weird thing about the whole Ukraine thing is, sure enough, there probably are some people raising money for Ukraine that are going to use it for something entirely different. But unless you actually see their books and see what they're doing, how can you make that claim? Oh, dinner's ready. How long before Nat shows up? Oh my God, I don't want that to happen. She'll show up and she will give Robert Shinside this huge thing she did to poor Mr. Salts last time. Katie doesn't care about the truth, just the coins this story could generate. That's exactly right. Katie has more lawsuits than Russia has morals. I love it. And I was laughing earlier because one of the other YouTubers that she was trying to drag into this, he said the funniest thing of all time. And I kept saying I was going to put it on a t-shirt. I'd have to go look it up what he said because my senior citizen brain is just not remembering the short term. Okay. Alleges video posted by one of 7M's clients as a recruiting tool for the 7M CULT. Okay. Robert Shin's next door neighbors are moving. I'm hearing that people have been driving by a lot, trying to spot Robert. I'm assuming this could be pretty disruptive to neighbors. The real story is this: focusing on their lawsuit detracts from the story. Stay focused. Those are her words. And I'm not even sure what that pile of word salad actually meant, besides the fact that his neighbors are selling their house. That's all I can say. And I don't think it has a damn thing to do with them. I mean, until I see police reports showing squabbling between the two of them, I'm not feeling it. Who are they harassing? I missed that one. I got to scroll back in these comments because it has been quite the interesting few days because of all of this nonsense. And I was cut off from all of this with no internet. It's the worst. All she is doing is showing she's exactly what people say about her. And I wanted to warn everybody as well on this new thing. Apparently, her little stupids are going around and they're harassing people on YouTube. They're harassing just people who comment on YouTube channels. They're harassing people on Twitter. They're harassing people on Instagram. They're trying to report people to say that people are somehow violating the terms of service to get their accounts pulled. Do you think they could use her hypocrisy against? I think they probably can. Steven said he is in the discovery phase with his lawsuit and she has no insurance. I keep saying that she has no insurance over this. The insurance claim is kind of like, I was thinking about this earlier, kind of like a frightened little kid walking through the woods talking about their big brother being right behind them and having no big brother because they are good to see you, bossy. It's kind of like somebody walking through the woods going, my big brother is right behind me, a little kid, to scare off a beating from some bigger, meaner kids. Or in the movie Trading Places, there was a part where Eddie Murphy was in jail and he was fighting and fussing and feuding with some guy, and he was up against the bars and he was yelling for them to come and bail his ass out. And he was selling wolf tickets. She's selling wolf tickets every time she talks about the insurance. She's doing the same thing. That's all this is. That's all the insurance talk is. I said it earlier today. I'm going to re-say it now. When we were both working at Pathos, she, like myself, was told that you need to look into getting the kind of insurance that protects your house against lawsuits in case somebody comes after you for your writing at Pathos. So it protects your house, it sets it aside. I went and talked to my agent about that, and we put a rider on the house, something like that. And that's about all you can get. He told me, he said, there's no anti-lawsuit insurance available. There's none of that. Good for her. I'm glad Erin's doing that. They are trying to call people's jobs to get them fired. Ah, Franny, I'm the same way. Girl, come on. Call my husband up and tell him how much I suck and that he has to get somebody else in here to sweep, mop, dust, and cook. And God knows the last 8 weeks or so, and I've been so incredibly sick, ain't much of that going on at all. Tonight I made him a roast with vegetables. It does depend upon the kind of insurance she has. And if you had that kind of insurance, it would be so incredibly expensive. There's no way that she could have, but most people can afford it. My insurance agent said there wasn't anything available to protect you against being accused of defamatory statements. And we know there's nothing that's going to protect her against multiple lawsuits. It's just not possible. It's not possible. So she needs to just drop that lie. That is just some kind of projection, attraction, trying to pretend that nothing is the thing. Continued disparagement. Let's see if they added anything to that. The false statements are categorically false. Um, bu- bu- So I'm just kind of skimming through this. Most of this is still the things that Emily D. Baker and Uncivil Law have already covered, and other creators. They've already covered it. Now, some of these, I don't know if they have a leg to stand on, like deceptive trade practices. I don't know. Tortious interference, yes, I feel that's pretty clear. But the main thing that's going to be the horrible thing about this entire thing is that it's going to bankrupt her. This is going to take years. It's not going to be months. This is going to be one of those lawsuits that drags out forever. There's ready. I'm not sure, but she told everybody that that her home was not listed under her name, that it was in her father's name. Somebody looked up the tax records, the county tax records. You can look up on anybody's property, pretty much anywhere in the U.S. And that home is in her name and it's in Todd's name. So it puts it on the table if they go after it. It does. And that's the bad news on that. It does put it right on the table. Ellie Baker's right. It does depend upon the type of insurance she's got. But after talking to my insurance agent, I can tell you that kind of insurance is not cheap and it's hard to get. That's what he was telling me. So I don't think insurance will want like one, maybe a few defamatory statements or an accident, and she's done it on purpose. Yes. I don't know if an LLC protects your home. I don't know how that works in the US because I've never had an LLC in the States. I have one here. And here, it absolutely protects your home. It protects all your investments. It protects her vehicles. It protects so many things. And the country of Costa Rica, when you file an LLC here, you put everything in it, and they determine how much money you have without the LLC. And the amount of money that the government decides you have outside of the LLC is what determines how much someone can sue you for here. I am worth a grand total of $75, according to the country of Costa Rica, the state of Guanacaste. And it would cost somebody from the States probably $100,000 to get everything served with the right judges, to get an injunction sent to me, the whole 9 yards, for $75. I don't think anybody with half a brain would do that. Yeah, life insurance doesn't pay for suicide. If you're the instigator and the plaintiff of the lawsuit, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Natalie from Canada, that's not true. She did not put her house in her father's name. Her house is in her name. The newest tax records show it. The house is in her and Todd's name. I'm sure Todd is dealing with this copious amount of cupcakes and vodka. Her views have dropped, Purple. I've seen that they've dropped. Her name. Yes, it's not easy to transfer a mortgage and they don't fully own it. She makes it sound like a Doctor Who has malpractice insurance. It's very different. It's very different. Insurance is so weird, and I don't think that there's anything that's going to cover this much stuff. She is about to be shocked and surprised and hate anybody that I've missed, like Danielle. The Small Business Association does offer business insurance, but I doubt it covers this kind of stuff. Someone looked up the tax records and the house is under her and Todd's names. It means the title deed is under their name, not her father's. Too bad her crystal ball did not work. That's true. That's so true. That's what I saw. You're going to move to Costa Rica? It is nice. I'm just going to say. So yeah, and here's the thing. If you have an LLC here, you're protected in the fact that they won't expose what your LLC name is. There's no way to get that information. If I don't say my LLC name is Sloth Rule, there's no way to find out what that is because it's private. It's kind of like, the Cayman Islands, and they're private. So that's pretty much the way it is. Depending if they're suing her person or company, don't know, guessing. She needs she does need a magic 8-ball. I think that her house is going to be at risk because I think they probably will turn around and sue the LLC and her. From what I saw, the paperwork, I'm not surprised. Those poor cupcakes. I almost bought cupcakes this afternoon, and I was looking at them, and I was like, I love these things, but I don't love thinking about Todd licking one of these things. Oh, I'm sure she's going to make some crying streams and beg for money. In Texas, the house wouldn't be at risk. Texas has unlimited homestead exemption. And I think in Louisiana, they have that too. So it really depends upon where you are. She has a flight risk to insurance companies, and it's actual defamation insurance. I don't know. I don't know about all of that. I just know in Virginia, I was not able to get what she's talking about. Too bad she's literally without a crystal ball. It would have helped. Tenants in common. Tenancy in common is a kind of a difficult thing. It depends from state to state. I don't know about Minnesota, but New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, the mortgage and the deed are one and the same with the name. You can only change a deed once the mortgage is paid off. Exactly. Is the Bentley at risk? How about the 2 Mercedes and the other ridiculousness she's tried to claim? I find that suspect. She's paying the mortgage, but put the date and her father's name. Is this a pre-existing condition for her getting sued, asking for rent? I don't know. She is definitely going to go broke. Brittany. I can see this coming. And like I said, my main concern is with the child, especially knowing that he is high risk, knowing that he has all these medical issues. What business does she have risking his future medical treatment by going all stupid on us and defaming other people to the point where they sue her? Huh. I didn't know that in California. Would her parents help Vaughn? I'm going to assume they would. And yeah, she's going to take Todd down with her. In Virginia, my ex-husband deeded our home to me solely while the mortgage was in both of our names. Depends on the state. Yes. Oh, Amy. It's a sad fact. Sometimes you have to do that. I would never risk my child like that either. And it's kind of funny because I'm writing my book about my experiences with the Quiverful church that we used to go to. And I'm on the part now where I'm talking about my child's illnesses, I should say, because she started with ITP and then ended up having meningitis. And then it was just a continual long stretch of ITP with multiple treatments. And then my husband's treatment for cancer and various things. In New Hampshire, we had the mortgage in my husband's name, but the deed had both of us. Alcohol and cupcakes. That would be pretty good right now. Purple, I wish he would. I don't think that hanging around the house and being her little minion is doing him any mental good or any emotional good. I just saw a tweet from Emily Baker that Miranda and James are now plaintiffs against Katie. Yes, that's what I was just talking about earlier. They have been added to the lawsuit. Todd is definitely complicit in her actions. Jamie. Well, I think that you can actually have a channel and be decent and not lie about everybody. Or if you're talking about someone, hey, just saying, say, hey, this is my opinion. I say that all the time. It's like, this is just my personal opinion. It doesn't mean it. I struggled with that when I started doing a little research on Shekinah Church, and I was like, ooh, I think they are definitely involved with some other CULT churches. They probably are CULT if they're using the same theology. She has messed with the wrong people. Don't think she's going to get away with what she has said. Guarantee next to be fake crying and using her son to gain sympathy. Of course she will, but she couldn't even put down going online when her son had COVID and when she had COVID. I was watching that just incredibly horrified. Do you think she would ignore him? That would be so sad. By the time this is settled, Vaughn would be almost an adult. This is going to drag out. What a thing to grow up with. I don't know. Homestead exemption allows a homeowner to exempt up to $390 of equity within their home or other property that's defined under the. Yep, who knows? James Derrick is Miranda's husband. He is the African American man that she is married to, that her family apparently had a fit when she married him or hooked up with him or whatever happened, whatever went down. And I think they're probably somewhat prejudiced. Yeah, I saw the Bentley remark and just kind of laughed and thought, no. Amanda, exactly right. I had a book almost completely done being edited when one of the parties asked me not to publish, and there was no legal threat implied at all. They just asked me to be nice. B dash. That's who B dash is. James Derrick. They asked me to be a decent person and not publish because it was hurtful to their family. And I said, okay, sure. Even though I'd put all that work into it. So you've got to do that when people want you to do that, whether you like it or not. So I don't know what. And then she wants to put him into conservatorship. Oh, I know. Even if the church is a C word, they are adults capable of making their own decisions. She shouldn't insert herself in their personal lives. Absolutely agree. I would have stopped after the cease and desist came. Hey Tracy. So I don't know why she doesn't. I do know one thing about the cease and desist. Okay, Apatheos. A lot of us got cease and desist over stupid stuff. Most of the time, you look at it and go, "Yeah, you're not suing me for that," and just throw it aside. Most of the time, it was just ridiculous stuff. But every now and then you get one and you look at it and go, oh, yeah, I should probably back off of this because either A, the person is super crazy you're dealing with or not exactly the most mentally stable, or B, they actually have a point. And those are the points where you would stop talking about them and you might take some of your content down. For cease and desist, to ignore that was just crazy when I heard that she had done that with the Tati Westbrook thing. Them being together in the suit with that last name says she was wrong when she said they aren't married too. Exactly, Aaron. Apparently they are married. At least multitask. Trying to keep up with this mess. I've been watching more videos. Jamie, I was doing the same. I was crocheting when I was watching everybody's videos on this crap. And frustrates me so much. She has so much potential. She should have used her powers for good, not evil. Purple, I have said that and said that and said that if she had just stuck to her content of how to raise a special needs child as an atheist in the Bible Belt, she would have made a lot of money, I think. Still, I think she would have probably been more successful because there are a lot of people that are just starting that journey with children that are special needs for whatever reason, who are going to want to find content about that. They're going to want to find people who explain more about the feeding tube, the reality of the everyday with the feeding tube. She should have tried that. So I don't know why she went to the lowest common denominator, but she did. She did. The Lord made people of all colors, but you're only allowed to marry someone the same shade as herself. Apparently, her parents thought that. You ask me if she is guilty of child abuse neglect. She knows he's got problems, yet she puts him at risk. I just hope a family member steps in and takes him, but she did this to him. Exactly. BJ said they aren't racist, but they didn't like him because he was poor, but wanted Miranda to date a football player. Yeah, it could be a class thing too. I think they still would have sued, even if she'd honored the cease and desist. Well, if she had just stopped when Miranda started crying and asked her, I don't know, Brittany. I'm going to have to ask him that. I think if she'd have just honored it when Miranda first asked her not to and was crying, I think that we probably wouldn't even be seeing this. I was cooking. Oh, you bought a holder to hold your tablet. Oh, Jackie, just talking about the fact that Miranda and her husband, James Derrick, have been added to the lawsuit suddenly, and all the new defamation stuff since the lawsuit was filed has been added. Miranda has been asking her to leave alone for a good while before the cease and desist. If she had just done that, she would have done great. Yeah, she would have. She would have. She wasn't a bad writer and she had her unique perspective. Exactly. Yeah, I'm worried for him too. Very worried for him. And as much as I'm not a fan of Todd's, I did like his historical content. I hope that he wakes up from this evil spell. Oh, Java man, I know exactly who you're talking about in Virginia too. He's kind of an idiot. That he really wants that overturned. He wants it overturned, and it just kind of blows my mind. Kind of blows my mind that anybody thinks that way. She did something with her Facebook page because now it's saying the feed is not available right now. Oh, yeah. And she has multiple Facebook accounts. I'm going to tell you that because every time I would get tired of her nonsense with Pathos, I'd block her for a while, and she'd come back with a new account each and every time. And she knew damn good and well I had her blocked. So I don't know. I don't know what anything is going to come out of this. The only thing listed on her Facebook page, Sister Wives, Duggars, anything to do with 7M has been taken off. Good. Doctors and nurses are told he needs to eat more and better because if he can eat M&Ms and Cheetos, he can eat soft foods that are better. Yep. He surely could. Yeah, she could have done the gossip and reality TV route. There are ways to do it without getting sued left and right. If I pulled the crap, my husband would live it and vice versa. Exactly. Yeah, he is totally backing her up. She's really obsessed with some really strange things. This is in the state courts, so we're going to see. My balls are made out of crystal. Yeah, that's his name. I saw that. That's ridiculous about the Duggar dreams. Um, Amy, she was tapped to go on Dr. Phil. I contacted them 3 times, and I wasn't the only one. There were a pile of us that contacted Dr. Phil more than a year ago and tried to get her on there during the Tati thing, and she said she was not interested. The internet does keep everything, so she's out of luck. He needs fresh air and social interaction with his peers. Every child does. He also needs to be taught by somebody who is licensed and knows what they're doing, not necessarily a homeschool teacher, but somebody to come in and not someone coming in. He needs to be out with his peers. He needs to be in a classroom. Yeah, he has lost them. And it does. It takes time and energy. She's telling her tribe to dox people who are making negative comments on other channels. Yeah, I saw that. Aaron, I'm trying because I run out of stuff. She needs Jerry Springer, Oprah, Mari, and Dr. Phil to do an intervention. Here's what I'm wondering. I have had contact from 2 documentary companies, the smaller ones, that are wanting to do a series about her and about all these lawsuits and everything. They came to me asking me for background material. So I steered them over to the subreddit and to a number of other people too, and to a lot of postings. Some Christians will use their dreams they supposedly receive from God as an excuse for them to slander or drop false allegations against other Christians. Yes, they do. And they will give all kinds of crazy interpretations of dreams. I have a dream interpretation story I have to tell one day. Where I had a crazy dream. I was on a unicycle and I had blue tweezers. I was clicking like castanets. Somebody at church gave me an interpretation on that, even though my interpretation is, oops, I must have had too much pizza before bedtime. He is with nurses all day. Yeah, and that's kind of, he needs to be her priority all the time. That is a scary thing. Her head will be so much bigger. Yes. HBO movie? Maybe. I don't know. But I think something big is coming. I think that, I mean, and she says she right now is in cahoots with Lionsgate, and I can't imagine them doing anything more than a freak show with her and showing her as kind of like Joe Exotic. She is a Lifetime original movie. In fact, during the Tati thing, I used to joke and say, "Who's going to play us all in our Lifetime movie? The Lifetime movie they're going to do on her." I think she hates God for giving her a medically fragile child. She hates her life. I think she has Munchausen's. Kim, that might be. Yep, I know. She made such a stink about the sister wives. Well, maybe. I don't know if you guys saw the Dr. Phil that was episode that was about a woman who has a YouTube channel by the name of Truthfully Trish. Or Truthfully Trish, I can't remember which one it was. It's a woman that would live stream for hours and hours, but instead of having like an opinion like some of us, she live streamed some crazy stuff. Like one time she pretended she had an anaphylactic reaction to black pepper. And I watched that and was just like smacking myself in the head because I have had anaphylactic reactions to crazy things. That was not an anaphylaxis that she was undergoing at all. It was just stupid. Aaron, I try to talk to everybody and look at the comments because I think it's a lot more fun for everybody, for me, for everyone else. Who would play her and Todd? Well, I know I would have Linda Hunt play her. You don't know who she is. She was in the original Dune. She's a little shriveled thing. So I would have her play Katie Todd. I have to think on that one a while. Yeah, I would definitely have to think on that one. I am not sure. I'm not sure. Isn't it ironic? We're all worried about her son, but she isn't. If that's not neglect, I don't know what is. I'm surprised Children's Service hasn't paid her a visit after all this. They have a couple times. They showed up there, and she somehow managed to convince them that nothing was going on and that everything was a-okay. And from there, so I'm not sure how she got away with that. CPS. Ellie Baker did not say she was going to jail. You can't go to jail on a civil case. Oh my goodness. I don't Jamie, that's an evil scenario. A horrible scenario. Hey Eve, benefits vary from state to state. I know that. They definitely do. I think some production company is working with her. When it comes out, it's not going to paint her in a very good light. Then she's really going to hit the roof. I think it's going to be a Tiger King situation because they started following Joe Exotic and he thought he was going to get this big documentary. It was going to show what a great guy he was and how badly that Carol Baskin sucked. Well, look how that played out. That's exactly how I think it will play out. And that's really sad because that will be heartbreaking. Has she been lies and insisting the case wasn't filed when it was? I don't know. I haven't really paid much attention. Yeah, my understanding is the feeding tube is in place because she could not get nurses without it. I believe that's the truth on that too. Yeah, CPS is not going to want to deal with a medically fragile child because they don't know how, they don't always have anything in place like that to take care of a child like that. So Reagan, are we laughing yet? Because part of me, the mean girl side of me, is laughing over this and going, "Oh, this is too funny." And then there's the part of me that thinks, "Oh, that poor kid, that poor kid." It's a way to cheat the system. It is. And that's really, the professional nurse came to a medically fragile child with COVID. Yeah, I don't believe that either. Reagan, are they going to find anything? If they looked into my thing, you know what they're going to find? They're going to find I had a pile of parking tickets. They're going to find that back in my teens, I was a party girl, that I had a lot of fun, that I got married at 16 to someone much older than me who was the wrong guy, and I didn't stay long. I left him. When I worked in peds, we had a woman we were sure was Munchausen by proxy. It was so very hard to prove, and reporting it until before solid proof will backfire. I was worried about that too. They're backed up. They do have bigger fish to fry. And he does. Her poor child deserves so much better. We're hoping that he gets better eventually. I'm in Minnesota, and there are kids that need medical care and don't get it, but she does. That's the problem with this, I think. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. No tickets, no arrests, none of that. But my identity's been sought after for too long. Reagan, I wish I could have done and gone anonymous like everybody, because that would have made my life a lot easier when I was writing for NLQ. But unfortunately, because they're part of the whole Time Magazine organization, we were all using our real names. Nobody was writing under a pseudonym. KJ finally had to do that. Oh, Nitwit, hey! She finally had to do that. She finally had to change from her real name to a pseudonym because she was getting quite a bit of hate and pushback, and you had people like Jilly tried to sue her, Jillian Epperly. So there was a lot going on. So she went from Catherine Paulson on her bylines to Katie Joy. And that's not even her real name at all. Not Joy, not the Paulson. I think of him in a lot of situations too. She doesn't realize how bad can hurt him. There's so much of this. He is treated like a prisoner. And I think we all want to see justice done in this. Oh, thank you, Nitwit. I got to go buy yarn in a couple of months when I go to the States. And Joy is not her middle name. I want to say it was Marie, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. And I wish I did, but it was some of oh, I'm so glad. Thank you so much, Kayla. Okay, I think that Mansk is now her legal middle name. It was her maiden name. I want to say the middle name was Marie, but it's been so long. It's been so long ago. It's her maiden name, Java Man. Yes, that's her maiden name. So there's that. And I'm going to have to look more at the paperwork and see if they're suing her personally, if it's just the LLC they're suing. She will be either on HBO Max or Hulu, just like they did discovering Anna Delvey and Elizabeth Holmes, The Dropout. Yeah, Franny. I'm looking for a Tiger King type documentary series. I am just looking. Maniac. Manic. The Manic Maniac. She will end up on those. I'm convinced of it. They did list both her and the LLC. So there's just no telling. She put her full name out there so many times, posting the legal documents. Yes, that it can't be considered a dox anymore. It's not a dox. Oh, the Tommy and Pam thing. She talks so badly about a school of not doing what her son needed, but it's one of the best in the state, and blue ribbon and great reviews. My son had the same, and his teachers are amazing. Yeah. Oh, goodness, Tracy. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and I did this last second. I wasn't planning on going on at all because my voice is going. And here I am at an hour again. And doing the thing that I criticized her and others for going on twice in a day and going on for 2 hours total. Yeah, Jennifer, I did that too. I dropped my middle name and put my maiden name in there. That was pretty crazy with the cat. That was pretty crazy. So I'm at an hour and I'm running out of voice again. So I'm going to go ahead and go. But like I said, this has just been a crazy Friday evening. The only way it would be any crazier is if I got another demand letter from her lawyer this evening. I am hoping. Tracy, I got to tell you about that. My daughter was getting on to me today and going, when I have my wedding, you're going to get all your split ends trimmed off, aren't you? And I was like, yes, dear. I will not show up with split ends. A cross of Tiger King with Fargo accents. Oh my goodness. That would be crazy. It could. It could. They could, Franny. They could. You know, if this ends up on HBO Max, you know damn good and well they'll be there with a fine tooth comb going over everything. Love you guys. Y'all have a great weekend.